Hey everyone. So, with the new year comes new golf clubs, new stuff. And for this, I wanted to give kind of an update of what's in the bag. I did one a couple months ago, or maybe even last month, not even really sure off the top of my head. But I got a bunch of new stuff for Christmas and a bunch of new stuff from the garage. So, I'm just going to walk through, at least for the early part of 2022, what's in my bag. And some of this stuff is going to switch in and out. Some of it is vulnerable to change. So I'm pretty much just going to tell you why I like, the clubs I have, if it's possible they could change, and anything else that kind of comes to my head. So first off, we'll start with the putters. And I have two putters kind of fighting for the top spot in my golf bag. And these are, in the blue corner, the Ping Answer 2, old school Ping Answer 2 as well. It's got the stainless steel finish on it. Has a black top line on it, which is pretty uncommon from what I've seen. Seems that they have more white. Still says all the Carson MFG Made in the USA Answer 2 on it. Really good putter. Still having this super stroke grip. But as much as I love this putter, I'm just not really making putts with it. And I'm going to try and work on my putting more because obviously if you work on your putting, you're going to improve with your putting, whether you want to or not. But I'm just not really feeling the Answer 2 right now. Still love the look, still love the shape, and still love the putter. But just not really making anything with it right now. So I'm going to try and work with it for a little bit, but right now it's on the bench. Because new to the bag, almost dropped it, is this. This is a Titleist Tour Model Heel Shafted Classic. Don't know much about this putter, other than it's an old Titleist putter. Reminds me of Phil Mickelson's putters. It's got a bit of a worn out grip, some tape. You might have to cut that off, but I kind of like the thinner grips, to be honest with you. It suits my grip, which is kind of like the prayer hands, so to speak. Picked this putter out of the garage and said, I'll give it a go since I'm not really making anything with the Ping Answer. And I played 9 holes the other day, or on December 30th, so just after Christmas, and played 9 holes and I shot 2 over. Which was the result of not only good, greens in regulation. I hit 6 of 9, which is above 50%, which is always my goal to hit 50% or more greens in regulation. But I got up and down pretty well. So even though I was 2 over, that was because I had 1 3-putt and 1 sand shot that was almost impossible that I made bogey with. So, but the other greens that I didn't miss, both times I chipped up and left myself with like 5 inside 10 feet, and I made both of them. Made a lot of great putts with this throughout the day, a lot of good lag putts, a lot of good short putts, and it's just working. And as much as I love the Ping Answer 2, if this is going to save me shots, then this is going to win out every day. So again, Titleist Tour Model Heel Shafted Classic, gorgeous putter, gorgeous old school blade. So you can see the top line right there. Not much to say about it. But those 2 putters will be fighting for the top spot. Next up are the wedges, and finally I have a full set of wedges, so I only need the whole one. Save me time. I got for Christmas a 60 and a 52 in the Cobra Tour Trustees. It's got the little snake right there, the orange Tour Trustee decal. Bit worn, bit used on all of them, but I mean that's to be expected with secondhand wedges. First of all, I love the finish on these. I love the black. I love the orange, how it kind of really pops. Maybe it's because I'm an Orioles fan. Now that I have the same wedges, all 3, so I have a 52 on this, a 56 on this, and a 60, I feel the weight is a lot more consistent. and I'm a huge fan of that. And they all come in different shafts. Actually, I all think they come in true tempers. This one in particular, the 52, has a dynamic gold S200 in it, the Golf Pride grip, which is still in really good shape for a used club. Um, First, full set of Cobra wedges. Cobra was always one of those brands that I wanted to give a try, and always thought they were a bit underrated for the product they make. And bought the wedges since I liked the 56, which I already had in the bag, which was a Cobra Tour Trusty. Thought I might as well get the other two, and here we are. And these were played incredibly well on the course, both chipping and putting. So, or not chipping and putting, but with chip shots, full swings, really good wedges. And if you're in the market for secondhand wedges, I would highly recommend the Cobra Tour Trusty. So next up is the irons, and there is no change in the irons. And for the foreseeable future, I think the irons are pretty locked up. These are the original Callaway Steelheads, the X14s. These came out in 2000, I believe. And even if I do become a golf professional, which is obviously the whole goal of this channel, as you can see in the title, I still think I'm going to use cavity back irons. Mainly because, A, I love the confidence I get when using cavity backs. B, I'm not really the best ball striker. I'm an okay ball striker, but I'm definitely not an elite level, not enough to use, blades and such. So I'm a really big fan of these. The lofts are relatively traditional by today's standards. 7 irons, 33 degrees. I believe the 6 iron is 29 degrees. And you can kind of work out how it is from there. I have no idea what shafts are on them. I mean, all the stickers are off. It's just, I think it's a regular flex, but it feels really light. And that's what I like about these, is that they're light. They're not heavy. The old irons I had that were really heavy, and they generate a lot of swing speed coming down, but I just felt like I had no control, whereas these I can kind of manipulate a bit more. They all come in this kind of Golf Pride Tour Wrap grip, and I have them from 5 through pitching wedge. So, irons, always been a big fan of Callaway's. I mean, Phil Mickelson is what got me in the golf, and obviously he has a big deal with Callaway. So I'm really big fan of these irons. Even though they're old, even though they're beat up, I love them dearly, as I do all my golf clubs. Next up is the Thor Hybrid, which has been changed in another battleground spot in the bag. I went back to this. This is a tailor-made rescue hybrid. 22 degrees, so it works well with the gapping. Look at that head. That is, kind of reminds me of the M3 with the silver and black. I wonder if this is where they got the inspiration from. I kind of just wanted to give these another go because, well, I don't really know. They just were kind of sitting in there, and I remember liking them, but just figured, I don't have any TMA clubs in the bag, so I might as well just try the hybrids, or at least one of the hybrids. And huge fan of this so far. Definitely has a slight draw bias, but that's obviously because the weighting of the golf club. It's more weight on this end, so it's gonna shut more as you're swinging. Something I got to work on is trying to fix that sweeping draw that I tend to have with hybrids, and it's one of the reasons that I'm not really the biggest fan of hybrids. But I tried hitting this off the deck, pured it. Hitting hybrids and woods off the deck has always been a big struggle of mine. But this made it really easy. And, there is something to be said about that, because typically I hit like a 5 iron into a par 5, and that kind of leaves me with a tricky mid, short, or sometimes a wedge if I'm lucky. But now, that I'm confident with this off the deck, it's going to give me extra range, and that's going to help me shave some strokes. Comes in a TaylorMade ultralight tip soft shaft, Flex M. Don't really know what the M stands for, possibly men's. And it's got an old grip. I do need to change the grip. And head cover wise is just kind of a cheap little Amazon head cover that, as I always say, does its job and does it well. Next up is a club that I am blushing over. This was actually a gift from my girlfriend. Thank you, Elise, so much. And I love it. I mean, there's no other way to say it. I mean, this is a fairway finder, perfect off the deck, long hitting, beautiful golf club. And as you can probably see, this is a Titleist 904 5-wood. And I mean, old school head covers, just rocking it. I mean, look at that. I love the red and black. It's actually our school colors, so Pro Trajectory, all that stuff, 904. Nice head cover, even though it's a little beat up. I mean, this is just a gorgeous club. I mean, take a look at that. I mean, 19 degrees, bored through, and I mean, it's got the glossy top with the old school line and triangle Titleist alignment, pear shape. It's not the most forgiving, but it's definitely got some more forgiveness to it than people like to give old clubs credit. It's got the weight right there, kind of in the center. You can kind of make it out right there. They put it low and back, or low and middle, so it gives a more low ball flight. I tend to find that it's a pretty high ball flight, at least for me personally. And it comes in a graphite design, a YS6 shaft. I don't think they make these anymore, but I could be wrong. And I do like the blue. I don't have any blue shafts, so it's definitely different. But I do like it. And it comes in a Super Stroke Cross Comfort grip, and it's a bit thick, a little bit thick, but it's all right. It's not uncomfortably thick. So, Titleist 5-wood 904F, by the way, if that makes a difference. Love that club. Love that club dearly. Next up, another new addition. This is a bit of a loose cannon. And when I say a bit of a loose cannon, it is a huge loose cannon. And this is with the old 4-wood head cover. My Titleist 917 F2. Let's see if we can get that. Good enough. About as close as we'll get. 13.5 degree. Strong 3-wood / 2-wood. I had the 16.5 degree. I still do. But as good as it was, skinny kid like me needs the distance. And I haven't tried hitting this off the deck, but this thing is not forgiving at all. It's definitely going to be a bit of a learning curve, and that's why I'm still kind of on the fence about putting this in the bag as opposed to the 4-wood. Because now having a 4-wood makes sense since there's a 5-wood. Anyway, comes in a Diamana 80-gram stiff shaft. I mean, always been a fan of Diamana shafts. They're my personal favorite. Still got the little sticker on it on the side, and it actually has a TaylorMade grip on it, which is kind of weird since it's a Titleist club. Beautiful head, but this club has no guarantee of a spot in the bag. No guarantees, at least not yet. Just because when you stripe it, and it is somewhat forgiving, I have to give it some credit. When you stripe it, it's a rocket. Almost goes as far as my driver. But if you miss it even by a little bit, especially on the toe, since I have tendency my miss it is more of a hook or a sweeping draw, yeah, it will gone forever. Gone forever. But, on the other hand, since my 5 wood is such a straight shooter, it might even make sense to have this on a hole that's more open that you gotta play more aggressive on. Either way, at least for now, it is in the bag. And the last club in the bag that is once again a spot of contention is the driver. Of course, with the frog head cover, I have standards. Titleist 909 D2. 10.5 degrees. I mean, again, classic glossy black with the triangle in the line. I love this driver. I really do like it. It is very forgiving. It is, it's got some pop to it. I love the sound. But it's just, as much as I love old golf clubs, I mean, you can probably tell that by what I have in the bag. Most of them are from before I was born or when I was very little as a kid. I really do like this driver, and it still does have a very valuable place because it is a straight shooter and it is very forgiving, and I feel comfortable with it. So it has that going for it. But it just lacks the power. With a 5-wood, you don't need so much power, right? Because for me, I was looking for more of a control club that would do all right, and that 5-wood does have some pop to it. This, on the other hand, is just made for forgiveness. Made for forgiveness first. I mean, you can just tell with how big that head is. That is a huge monster of a head. Trying to pull all that weight back and make it as forgiving as possible. Problem with that is that you lose distance. And again, as I kind of said earlier, I'm a skitty kid. I need distance. And using a club that is very old, especially a driver, you can get away with using old clubs, I think, with your irons and your putters and, other areas of the bag. Driver, if you hit a driver, if you're playing against someone, and someone has a new driver and they have 10 yards on you, that's the difference between, like, a 5-iron and a 4-hybrid. So either I have to get way better at hitting those long irons, which is something I have to do anyway, or I could try and make golf a little bit easier and try something new. And I have bought a new driver. It's not a new one. It's new to me. I just kind of wanted to give it a try because it was such a bargain price. It's actually another Titleist. It's one of the 975s. It's the ones Tiger Woods used because I've had so much success with the 904, and I'm a pretty good ball striker with the driver, relatively speaking. So I figure that maybe if I go back to vintage clubs or older stuff like I have throughout the bag, that I might do better. Maybe it's just placebo effect, nostalgia, and whatnot. But driver is definitely an area of contention. And no one is safe. Not even you, my friend. Not even you. But considering how forgiving this driver is, especially under pressure situations, I think that this will either be in the trunk of my car ready to go when I'm having a bad day or in the bag. Because, I love the driver. But it just lacks a little bit in the distance department. And perhaps that suits a 10.5 degrees of loft. Obviously, I can't change that. But, who knows. Comes in a Diamana 65 gram stiff shaft. Another Diamana shaft. Love them on the bits. With a Golf Pride Tour Wrap grip. Lots of Tour Wrap grips. As far as golf bag goes, I still have my high school team bag, but at least for when I'm playing recreationally, I've decided to go with this. This is an old vintage ping bag. It also has PGA Championship at Bethpage Black towel because I went there, which was a really fun experience. It also has an umbrella holster, which my other one does not. So And I don't like being caught in the rain, as most people don't. As far as golf balls go, I got kind of a random assortment, as most people do. I got a lot of these Titleist refurbished Pro V1 X's. Definitely not as nice as the real thing, but golf balls are golf balls. If they fly, they fly. Yeah, just some refurbished Titleist golf balls, some Callaway ones, too, in there. I got a brush right here. It's actually got a little extendable piece. Don't know if you can really see it, but really good for cleaning clubs, as all brushes are. Hopefully it doesn't fall off. I mean, I have a bad luck with these little metal ring clips breaking. I got a little golf glove, and this little, I put random golf stuff on it. Kind of just tees, ball markers, divot repair marks, and a little bit of everything in here. And not so much to really say about it. I think that's everything that's in the golf bag, and we've definitely gone over all the clubs. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like. Sorry it's so long. I just got really excited. Had a lot to talk about. I hope you guys have a happy new year. Lots of New Year's resolutions, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Happy holidays, and I'll see you next time.